Hola!
Hola, kia ora.
Welcome to week 11 of
Rolling around Europe in Rolly. It's been a great week. We've travelled from, we left you in Mojacar and travelled inland to a place, well, our first stop was actually a personal winery, wasn't it?
It was our own personal winery. That
Found
was
a
lovely.
free stop outside a winery, had a tasting and a top up of our wine supplies, which was pretty good.
It's actually the first winery that we've stayed at in Spain, so it was interesting to hear
And
about
what was
their
that
wine
called?
in Spain. Fondon.
Fondon.
Yeah.
So that was good stop on the way we were heading up to the Alpujarra Valley, where there was a bunch of villages, white villages that are renowned. And it's a beautiful spot actually. There's a lovely drive up through the mountains, which we've captured on film there for you. And
Before that, on the way though, we saw the white plastic landscape.
yeah, right. So as you go through the desert area of Almeria, you can actually see it on Google Maps. You'll see it in the map, but we'll throw a photo in as well. It's the whole area is covered in plastic, isn't it? It's to do with the water that's been in such a dry climate. They cover everything in plastic to retain the water. So it's quite a weird landscape and not a particularly pretty landscape.
No, not pretty at all.
And we were quite happy to head to the hills and get some greenery. Yeah. The Alpujarra Valley is known for pork products. A lot of the valleys had legs of ham hanging everywhere, so they love their dried hams, and also had a lovely meal out in Capileira with some local pork products, which was really beautiful. From there we headed to Nerja, where we visited the Nerja caves, had a nice lunch out on the waterfront, saw the beautiful azure coloured Mediterranean, which is pretty nice. From there we headed down the road a little bit to a place called Torrox, and Claire found a really cool place to stay, didn't you?
It's very nice. Right by the water, right by the sea, and we had our first swim in the Mediterranean, and it was freezing. It was so cold, so cold. But we've swum in the Mediterranean, so...
It was nice. You just had to get used to it. It's better than Hamatangi Beach, I tell you.
Yeah. It was so nice. The water was clear. It was just a little bit cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I managed to get the drone up there and had a quick shot. Nothing too fancy this time, but it's good to capture where we stayed. It was a nice spot. We headed down the coast to a place called Torremollinos in Benalmádena. Claire, do you want to tell us why we went there?
So, 41 years ago, me and my two brothers flew out to Benalmádena to meet my mum and dad, who had bought a camper van and were travelling around Spain and Portugal and France. And they did that 42 years ago. So they wanted to spend Christmas with us. So we all flew out there and spent Christmas with them. They rented a 2-bedroom apartment 2 blocks back from the beach. And we had a great 2 weeks.
And
there.
what was our thoughts of that area?
Yeah.
Meh. It's all full of English tourists, English pubs and Irish pubs, and not very Spanish at all. So we headed for the hills again, and we've come up to a beautiful place. It's a basin up in the mountains called Ronda.
Help me, Ronda.
You had to do it, didn't you?
I did.
It's a beautiful spot. It's surrounded by green meadows and some stunning landscape with some awesome bridges across a very tall ravine. We've actually stayed here. This will be our 4th night tonight.
Yeah.
So we've enjoying it, and it's Anzac Day, so we've visited a little poppy field down the road here, and just did a bit of a remembrance of Anzac Day. So enjoy the video. Next week we're gonna where are we gonna go?
I don't know.
We're going to head a bit further up into the mountains. We've got a couple more white villages to visit, some more Roman ruins actually just around the corner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and these are free to get into. They're very untouched, I guess you'd call it. So that should be interesting. We've got some more caves coming up, and then we're going to head down out of Spain. You'll have to watch next week to find out more.
Oh, that's exciting.
So enjoy the video. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and if you like what we're doing, click on the like button. See you next week.
See ya. Ham products, jamon. And so the town we just went through had lots of butchers with hanging pigs' legs in the windows, dried meats and things. Wow.
Looking rather azure today. We're in Nerja. We've just gone to the Nerja caves, which were quite cool. We'll show you some photos of that. And we've caught the tourist train down into the town, so we'll have a bit of a look around, maybe a bit of lunch. Coffee time.
Help me, Ronda.
I'm just going to go down the other way this time. The bridge down there.
Your guide will be José El Zarife, a historical figure mentioned in contemporary accounts of the Castilian conquest of Ronda. In 1485, Ronda was under siege by Castilian troops. According to chronicles of the reign of the Catholic monarchs, a Moor, José El Zarife,
Field of poppies. It's the 25th of April. Lest we forget, while we're not in New Zealand or where New Zealanders probably fought, it is a bit of a reminder for us New Zealanders of Anzac Day. It's good to sort of take a moment to think about it, and beautiful setting with the walls of Ronda in behind.